Money doesn't start with work. It starts with permission.
Imagine you're 5 years old. You see your parents go to work every day. At the end of the month, they get paid. So naturally, you think money comes from work. Work equals money. That feels logical. That's what most people believe their entire lives. But here's something uncomfortable. Money does not start with work. Money exists before anyone earns it. And once you understand where it actually comes from, you'll never see money the same way again. Most people imagine money like this. Governments print it, banks store it, and people earn it. It feels physical, like toys coming from a factory. But modern money doesn't really work like that anymore. To understand money, we need to separate two things: wealth and money. Wealth is real things: food, houses, machines, energy, people's skills. Money is not those things. Money is just a claim on them, like a ticket. As long as everyone trusts the ticket, it works. If people stop trusting it, it becomes useless paper. A long time ago, money was simple: gold, silver, coins. If you had gold, you owned it. But gold was heavy and dangerous to carry around, so people started leaving their gold with goldsmiths. In return, they received paper receipts. Those receipts slowly became money. Then something important happened. Goldsmiths noticed something strange. People almost never came back to collect all their gold at the same time. So the goldsmiths had an idea. They started lending some of that gold out and charging interest. They were still holding most people's gold, but now they were earning extra from lending it. This was the quiet birth of modern banking. Over time, gold disappeared from the system. Receipts became numbers, and banks replaced goldsmiths. Today, when you deposit money into a bank, the bank does not lock it away for you. It keeps a small part and lends the rest. Here's where it gets interesting. When a bank gives a loan, it doesn't give someone else's money. It creates new money, digitally. A number appears in an account. Debt on one side, money on the other. Nothing illegal, nothing fake, just accounting. Let's explain this like you're 5. You deposit $100 into a bank. The bank keeps $10. It lends $90 to someone else. That person spends it. The money goes into another bank. That bank keeps a part and lends the rest again. Suddenly, more money exists than before, not because anyone worked more, but because the system expanded credit. So where does this money come from? From loans, from promises, from trust. You might wonder why banks are allowed to do this. The answer is simple: because governments allow it. Banks have licenses. Central banks stand behind them. If something breaks, the system steps in. Emergency loans, lower interest rates, bailouts with nicer names. You don't get that protection. If you tried to create money, it would be called counterfeiting. Same math, different permission. Central banks play a special role here. They don't usually print money directly. They control interest rates. They control lending rules. And during crises, they create money digitally to stop the system from collapsing. This keeps things stable, but it comes at a cost. When more money exists and the amount of real things stays the same, each unit of money becomes worth less. That's inflation. Quiet, legal, powerful. So where does money actually come from? Not work, not taxes. Money comes from credit, from trust, from permission. The system isn't good or evil. It's just how the modern world works. But once you understand it, money stops feeling simple. And that understanding gives you power. If you want more explanations like this, subscribe to Capital Anatomy.